Palm reading of a male whose age is 42 years old. We are reading his hand. We'll be talking about important points on his hand. The first line that we would be talking about is the money line. Money line is also known as the fate line, and this is, some people also say this is the career line, and many more. Many people have got different names to it, but it basically tells about the money aspects in our life. So there are few changes that you would notice out here. The first change happens somewhere out here. This is age 35, and the second change happens somewhere out here at the age of 53. And another smaller change is before the age of 35. So this is where there are few changes. So I'm just going to remove every line and then I would restart. So this is the line that we were referring to. This kind of ends before it touches the headline. This is the headline. So the line is ending close to the age of approximately 31. That's the approximate age, I would say. Then the new line that starts, it starts somewhere on the Mount of Moon. This is the Mount of Moon. So Mount of Moon, whenever the line starts on the Mount of Moon, the person gets benefits from trading activity, service industry, from females. So those are the things that the possibility increase. Now in females, mostly it is sometimes the mother, the sister, the wife, the daughter. Sometimes it is also females who are far away from your family, like friends, or it can be something to do with foreign countries as well. Whenever the money line is starting on the Mount of Moon, now this line also kind of ends on the line of head. So the age is happening is at the age of 35. Whenever there's a break in the money line, so what is happening is that there's a break happening on the money line at the age of 35. So what happens is when there's a break on the money line, it could mean job loss, work loss, business loss. The first thing. The second thing could be main earning member of the family, their health or wealth goes down. So more responsibility falls onto this particular person's head. The third thing could be one's personal life can also get disturbed. And once there are disturbances in the personal life, even the finances basically they get affected. So the break in the money line can be seen in different aspects. We can't exactly pinpoint what it is going to be, but it is going to be something related to these three aspects that I'm talking about. At the same time, the money line from the age of, let's say, this is started at an early age. Then the line, it appears that uh, it is kind of branching inward. I think it is kind of branching inward. So this is a wrong indication. This is all happening before the age of 35. I'm just pointing out. And the line is not so clear during this particular portion of the life. So this particular portion is around the age of 32 to the age of 35. So instability can be seen during that particular portion of one's life. When the line restarts at the age of 35, it continues at least till the age of 53. And then again, there are a few changes, and then there's a small line that you see just on top of the heart line. This is the heart line. So the intersection of the heart and the money line is age 53. You notice that it is a small line, so so the line is lasting somewhere maybe for 3, 4, 5 years beyond the age of 53. But I've seen one thing in my life that if the area of Saturn is good, this is the area for Saturn. Saturn is the planet for money, possessions, wealth, wisdom, responsibility. So whenever there are few lines over the mount of Saturn, it is automatically considered to be a positive sign. The reason it is considered to be positive because Saturn is a very slow moving planet. So more lines or more crisscrossing lines over the mount of Saturn is always a negative indication to have. What what may appear. I'm just giving you an example. I'm trying to correlate so that you understand. Try to understand that this is, imagine this is a sun, and the Saturn is revolving around this revolving around the sun. So this is Saturn. So if there were more lines on the area for Mount Saturn, it is kind of more roadblocks in front of the path of the Saturn. And if there are more roadblocks in front of the Saturn, the speed is going to slow down. But in this case, what is happening is that there's no line, absolutely no line that we see on the Mount of Saturn except this small line. So some people think that they need to have a very, very strong kind of a money line, only then they would have prosperity. But in my case, I would say that the lesser the lines, the better it is considered to be. It means there would be fewer roadblocks in one's life. So it's a positive sign. Even when you see a small line, something like similar to this, it is a very, very positive sign to have. The second line that we will talk about out here is the headline. I would add out here one more aspect, and that is people generally, what people who are new to palmistry, they generally give think that money line would give, they give too much of importance to the money line. They think that money line would tell only about the money. But I would say that each and every line in your palm can talk about the money, each and every line. So even your headline, people think it is the line of intelligence, but I would say that it is the line of your thought process, the mental stability or the instability that you may have in your life. Now, the thing is that it's a little bit different compared to the compared to some other person. The headline in this particular person's case is a little bit different, because normally what a headline may appear is something like this. It may appear to go down, it may appear to go up, or it may appear to be straight. That is comparatively normal, but out here it is a little bit different. And what we see out here is that this is the initial period of the headline, and this is the later portion of the headline. So in the initial period, you would notice that there's a line kind of originating on the mount of Jupiter. Now, everybody doesn't have this particular line that I've just drawn. This is the line that I'm referring to. This is the mount of Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is a big planet. Big geography, you must have read that geography that Jupiter is a big planet. Big planet means growth, expansion, honor, respect in your life, reward and awards in your life. So people who do have this particular line automatically reach to a high position in their life. Some people may say that this is a luck line, but I would say this is not a luck line. It is what we are aspiring in our life. Because the line is originating on the mount of Jupiter and joining the either the lifeline or the headline, it means our life is getting guided by Jupiter. Life getting guided by Jupiter means we are aspiring the qualities of Jupiter in our life. And we always have been molding ourselves to get some position in your life. Now, this particular line that we are referring to, this is touching the lifeline or the headline at a very, very initial phase of your life, even before the age of 18. So this portion is before the age of 18. But the impact of a line may have in your life is for throughout your life, and not necessarily only for those particular years of your life. So this tendency of reaching to a high position is always going to remain in this particular person's life. So it's a very, very positive line for the whole life, and not necessarily only for the younger portion when the person is young. It's not for that, but it's generally for the whole portion of your life. And it's a rare kind of a line to have such a deep and clear kind of a line. Now, the right hand is the hand of the present, and for male members, we basically give more importance to the right hand compared to the left hand. But I normally do not ignore the left hand as well. I give importance to the both the hands. So this is the left hand that we are referring to. I'm just taking a look for a brief while before I move back to the right hand. Even in this particular case, you would notice the similar kind of a line is there. This similar kind of a line. So it this particular there are two or three sections of the line. So this is the deeper section. So deeper section is the line that we should consider. Smaller lines basically we can ignore because they lack in strength. So I would move back to the right hand once again. So this was the initial period that I had spoken about. Now the other portion is the intersection. This is the money and the headline intersection. So this age is 35. So this portion of the headline is before the age of 35. This is after the age of 35. Okay, so what we see out here is that there's a kind of a changeover that is happening before it is touching the headline. So before the age of 35, few changes are happening, and the new line that kind of starts is starting something like this from inside. It's kind of pointing towards the area of Mars negative. This is the area for Mars negative area. Mars negative is just a name, and Mars negative is the area for your anger, aggression, and fire. And if the headline kind of points towards the amount of Mars negative, we kind of have anger enter your mind. So when the person is angry, the chances of wrong decision increase, taking the wrong decision increase. So reducing the anger is always better than having more anger in your life. So this is the other aspect. The other aspect is that the headline is kind of branching out into two. Now, branching out into two is considered to be a good sign because in palmistry books, it is said that such a person is a genius. What reason normally I give is that I would say that a normal person may have this kind of a line. So this is the origination and this is the termination. So the area for termination is very limited, like the field of thought process is very limited. But when the headline branches out into two, so the field of vision basically it widens. It widens, so this wide the field of vision is. So the person can see the two sides of the coin at the same time. So this is what we are saying. I would say that genius does not mean that the person knows everything, but out here I would just say that the person can see two sides of the coin at the same time, and whichever profession or work they are into, they may be much better compared to the other people because they can see from different angles as well, from different perspectives as well. So the line that is straight is indicative of practicality, and it is very long as well. So long line basically means a headstrong kind of a person. A line that dips a little bit downwards is more to do with imagination, visualization, and romance. So this is what I would say. Imagination in any aspect of your life. Imagination either in your personal or even in your profession as well. So this branching out is happening before the intersection out here at the age of 35, around the age of, let's say, 30, 33. That's the approximate age, I would say 33. The other aspect on the headline that I can point out is probably this particular line. Now, it is not a very clear kind of a line. That is it a line that is kind of originating from the headline and moving towards the Jupiter mount? It could be that. If it is that, then it is considered to be a positive sign because this age is the age the person is living in, around this particular age, and because it points towards the mount of Jupiter, so Jupiter is all about position and power. So some kind of a upliftment in one's life can be expected due to having this particular line in one's life. So when I would talk to this particular person, I would get few feedback, so that then I would kind of correlate with my palm reading. Now, apart from this, we would also take a look at the sun line. This is the sun line, a very, very dim, it's a barely visible kind of a line that you see out here. barely visible. You can't even see it. When we zoom into it, only then we can see it. So there are two or three sections to this particular line. This portion is before the age of 35. This is 35 to the age of 53, and this is 53 and beyond. The thing is that when the line is barely visible, it is indicative of doubt and self-doubt. So it's not a very positive sign to have a dim kind of a line. People call the sun line to be the name and fame line. Some people say that it is your luck line, and some other people say it's a government service line. So government service line, I totally disagree. This is a much better indication for governance or government compared to the sunline. So sunline is more to do with how good our profession is going to be. So when the line is dim and barely visible, I normally say lack of clarity as to what we want to do in our life. And this remains at least till the age of 53. And the reason, how I basically give a reason to this particular that dim line, what it basically means is we take it this case. This is sun, and this is earth, and in the middle there are lots of clouds and smoke. So the rays of sun are not able to penetrate the earth and reach the earth. So when they don't reach the earth, the plants, the trees, they wouldn't get sunlight, so they are going to die down if they don't get sunlight. So what it basically means is that lack of clarity, lack of visibility. This is what basically is indicated by a dim kind of a line. The line becomes much better beyond and above the heart line. So this portion is good. When this portion is good, I automatically would say that it's a beautiful sign to have. I would also tell the practical side of the palmistry as well. You don't need to have a very long kind of a sun line. Very few people, they may have a long sun line. And even people who are super rich, people who are millionaires and billionaires, they may not have a long sun line. They may not even, in fact, have a sun line at all. So the thing is that absence of a line is always better than the presence of the line. If the line is good, then it is a good indication. Otherwise, you don't need to have a dim and unclear line. It is of no use at all. Sometimes when the line is also dim, I've also seen that people are hugely successful. The reason I normally give is probably it is due to better company they have or some other good aspects in your farm. That is the reason why they may be successful. Something like this particular line that we are referring to. This could be a mark for success for throughout the life. And you don't need to have a sunline, good sunline at all. Now, other aspect that is important on this particular person's case is the Mercury line. This is the line of Mercury that is pointing towards the little finger, and there are two lines out here, two major lines that we see out here. This could be a smaller line that we can ignore, but these two lines are good enough for our life. The lines that we see on the mount itself, these are good enough. One line means one set of skill. Two lines means two set of skills that the person may have. And it basically means how much clarity we have. It means that how good we are in our communication and calculations. So this area refers to the area of mathematics, engineering, medical science, business, statistics, economics, even law as well. So every aspect of your life, every profession, if we have to look, we should basically look at the Mercury mount. If the Mercury mount is good, the chances of better aspects happening in your life increases because of a good Mercury. See, people who are unsuccessful are the ones who miscalculate and miscommunicate. So miscalculations basically is indicative when there are crisscrossing lines, something similar to this. Those are bad indications to have, but because there are no bad indications, I would say that the person has been communicating in an effective way right throughout their life. and not necessarily now as well. So that person's age is 42, so it's not that at the age of 42 the person is communicating in a good way. The person had been communicating right from the early age, right from the first standard till they finish their college, and even in the profession as well. So this is what I can pinpoint. Now we would talk about the heart line. Now the heart line is kind of broken out here. So break in the heart line is a little bit kind of a negative indication. Break in the heart line normally means an abrupt ending either in a relationship or a partnership or the work that we are doing. So it could relate to any of those aspects in our life. It's better not to have this kind of a break. And there are one or two branches that are hanging downwards. Something similar. You'd notice these kind of lines. This is the line that we are referring to. So branches on the heart line is indicative of distractions and falling for temptations. But these branches are not very extremely strong branches. If there were very strong branches are leaning too much downward, then we would have said it to be a negative sign. It's a fairly deep and clear, simple kind of a heart line, and simple kind of a heart line is always better than a complicated kind of a heart line. Now the heart line appears to be a little bit longer. It is reaching kind of Jupiter mount. It should reach the Saturn mount. It has become a little bit long and reaches the Jupiter mount. So it makes a person more idealistic and more sensitive, and the person moves away from realism and moves away towards the idealism part. So the person may not value money too much. The person may not respect money too much, but this is only a small part. Some people, they have a very long heart line, then it is a bad indication, because then the person wouldn't value money at all. Out here, the heart line is kind of near to the Saturn mount. So Saturn is all about being able to manage money very well, respect money well. See, management of money comes from here. So it's a good amount of Saturn. And the calculation of money comes from the area of Mercury. So both these aspects are good in this particular person's life. The negative aspect that we can talk about is, I'm not very sure, but I think that the Saturn finger, this is the Saturn finger, it appears to be a little bit long. Like if I kind of hold out here, this particular portion of the finger, we would be able to hold it like I can like hold this particular portion of the Saturn finger. Now, whenever the Saturn finger is long, it's a kind of a little bit negative sign, because the impact of Saturn increases in our life. See, although this is the finger of money, this is the finger of possessions, even then, I would say that it's better to have lesser impact of Saturn in our life compared to having more impact of Saturn. So the wrong impact of Saturn could mean depression, sadness, delays in your life. So this is what is a general tendency. I don't see those negative tendencies on the mount itself, because there are no negative signs on the mount. There are no negative. The only negative aspect that I can pinpoint is a longer Saturn finger. That's the only negative impact I can pinpoint. And the only other negative impact that I can talk about is a slight changeover that we see on the headline out here. But all these things are happening before the age of 35. This is the changeover that is happening on the headline. So it's better not to have a simple kind of a formation of the headline out here. So that is considered to be much better. Move to the left hand for just 3 or 4 minutes, and then I would complete the video. In the left hand, there are no breaks, except there's a break somewhere out here in the later portion of one's life. So this is a negative indication. Break is some kind of emotional turmoil or something related to that. The Mercury mount lines are reasonably okay kind. The sun line is also similar. It's much better after the age of 53. Same indication. The headline is also branching out into two out here as well. Similar kind of indication. The In this case, the money line is slightly different. The money line starts somewhere closer to the lifeline and ends at the age of 35. Another line starts on the Mount of Moon that too ends at the age of 33. So there could have been few changes at the age of 33 as well as at the age of 35. After the age of 35, there appears to be two finance line to money line that appears, and they continue for a long portion of one's life from the age of 35 till the age of 53. And and as such, the quality of the lifeline is reasonably good. And there's one line that is pointing from the lifeline upward, pointing out here towards the Saturn mount. We can say it is pointing, moving upward from the lifeline, pointing towards Saturn, or we can say a line is kind of from the Saturn, it is entering the lifeline. So both meaning is same. This is the luck line, and this portion is happening around the age of 45 or so. In this particular hand, it is the reason why we say it is considered to be good is because this is the area for money. So a line pointing from the Saturn entering your lifeline means money entering in your life. So that's a positive indication to have. And slight negative, these horizontal lines are comparatively negative, although because they don't touch the lifeline, that is the reason why the person may not have any impact in their life. So the impact could have been at the age of 50. And another line that kind of touches out here, that is around the age of 60. Before the age of 60, there's a small branch that is moving outwards, pointing towards the Mount of Moon. So any line moving outward is considered to be a negative sign. It is indicative of either the money, outward movement of the money, or outward movement of the health or money movement outside. It's a little bit negative indication to have. It's always better to have a circular kind of a line. That's when it is considered to be the best. So in this case also, there's a slightly outward movement, but because it's a very small kind of a line, so the impact is going to be very limited. And even this negative line, that horizontal line that we notice out here, it is not touching the lifeline, so the impact is going to be not at all. Imagine something that lifeline is a car that you are traveling in, and this is a cycle or a scooter or a pedestrian or a ship coming and striking your car. So if it touches your car, there is an impact. If it doesn't touches your car, it means it fizzles out and it basically drops down. So there's no impact at all. And the lifeline is making a fairly big semicircle. So having a bigger semicircle of the lifeline increases the energy and stamina and vitality in one's life. So it's a positive indication to have a big circular kind of a lifeline. Some people, they may have a smaller semicircle. Smaller semicircle means less area coming under the Venus. Bigger semicircle means more area coming under the Venus. So more area coming under the Venus basically means more energy, stamina, vitality, desires coming into one's life. So that's a very positive indication to have. And I think I would end my video out here, and I think that's it. Thanks for watching this video. And there are a few slideshow that I normally show. What about my fate line? Does it tell about my money, possession, wealth? We can come to know about money from almost any line in your palm. The importance of money line is just 15% as to how much money we would be able to make in our life. That's it. And why you do not know to know why you don't need to show your palm to an astrologer or palmist, because you already know your future. Present is a result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. That's what matters the most. Thanks, bye, and take care.